What's up, family? Welcome back to the channel. So today we diving into a topic that's bound to spark some debate. That's the firing of NFL head coach Jerod Mayo by the New England Patriots after just one season. The situation ties into broader discussions about race, diversity, inclusion, or the better words to say it is DEI or diverse equity and inclusion, and what really it takes to be a leader, right? So we're gonna break it down. But first, I want to preface the conversation from the beginning when Mayo was vocal about issues like racism. Check this video out.
I do see color because I believe if you don't see color, you can't see racism. And whatever happens, black, white, disabled person. I've always, even someone with disabilities, I always, for the most part, people are like, don't, when they're young, they kind of make the spot hot. Younger people know what that means. But what I would say is, like, no, I want you to be able to go up to those people and really understand those people. So it goes back to whatever it is, black, white, yellow, it really doesn't matter, but it does matter so we can try to fix a problem that we all know we have. I do see color.
All right, there you have it. So he made it clear um, these topics matter deeply, right, to him. He said it didn't matter about racism, but it matters. Very hypocritical, but okay. He stated that he believes recognizing race is essential for addressing racism. While these are important issues to discuss in his eyes, because he see racism, I don't see racism. I see a class war, not a race war. But I always believe that successful leadership focus on performance and results rather than external narratives. And when it comes to coaching, whether it's in football or life, and in my personal take, basketball for the most part, I did play football about 2 years, but personal accountability and preparation is what really defines success, in my opinion. Let me know what you guys think because this doesn't sound like the sentiment or tone in regards of a person that's taking leadership of a team to put them in the right direction to dominate and win, which is the overall purpose of sports in itself, let alone football when it comes to competing, right? So think about it. Mayo's tenure as a head coach, right? When the Patriots hired Mayo, I believe that it wouldn't end well, not because of his race, but because of the way he approached leadership and the game. And I want you guys to see, and another take in regards of why I believe that based on the clip that I seen, even though I don't watch football as much, but I did take a deep dive into this in regards of the matter because I think it's an interesting conversation to have when it comes to leadership and it basically entertaining narratives instead of focusing on results, which is true leadership and doing the things that's crucial to make the right adjustments for what your role is, let alone making sure let alone it also shows if you're qualified for the job in this case, right? So in this case, I don't feel like he was qualified. I feel like he was a DEI, which is an individual who was hired based on the courageous sentiment of tackling racism rather than sports in itself, and in this case, football. And this is what happened when you hire DEIs because he's an example of that. It sort of takes away the competitive nature of those who are qualified for the job and actually have the skills essential to thrive in the area that they are seeking to apply for. But I want you guys to see this is the announcements of him being fired.
We got breaking news out of the NFL where the Patriots have fired head coach Jerod Mayo after just one season. And I mean, after just one season. Within hours of the end of it, the firing comes down. Robert Kraft handpicking the successor to Bill Belichick, who went 4-13 this season, securing.
So there you have it, right? And then it goes into him in regards of his leadership and how he see it, which is I consider weak, let alone you cannot lead a team this way. And it sounds like to me he's running into the Victim Olympics. So check this out.
Look, it's always look once those guys cross the white lines.
Actually, that's not me with the audio. So I don't like that one-sided audio. So I want you guys to check out another clip because let me see. Hopefully it's better.
Look, it's always look once those guys cross the white lines. There's nothing I can do for them. There's nothing any coach can do for them once they cross the white line. It's my job to continue to prepare not only them but our coaches to go out here and play better football.
All right. So that's not my audio on my end is coming out left sided on my headphones as well, just so you know. if you guys or you raise concerns about the audio with that 11-second, 12-second clip. But the problem with that is, you as a leader, this is the mindset of a loser. And I say that because winners win, losers lose. And in this case, even if your team sucks, you still gonna go to bat for them and let alone say, look, we're gonna take accountability for our loss. We got some work to do. However, even though it's the players that he's coaching and leading to make the adjustments and looking from the outside looking in to see how to make the team thrive. You don't sit there and run in the Victim Olympics and basically say, look, it's nothing I could do for my team when it's far more you can do for your team, let alone this sets the tone in regards of the whole attitude when it comes to competing, right? And how you look at life and how you look at everything. I mean, coaches, in my personal experience, shaped my life to why I look at life the way I do now. In regards of results, and at the end of the day, there's no excuses, and you can run into the Victim Olympics all you want, or try to race bait, which I never did, or race hustle, or call yourself trying to move the goalpost to why you didn't do what you needed to do. But let alone it's about accountability, right? And accountability is his best teacher, and I don't feel like he took accountability within this. But if you look at his tenure as a head coach, like I said, which I didn't believe it would end well, is because, in my view, he lacked the mentality needed to succeed as a head coach. Leadership, especially in the NFL, is about taking responsibility, like I mentioned, for your team's performance, no matter how bad the circumstances. Statements like he said, there's nothing a coach can do once players are on the field reflect a mindset that doesn't align with what makes great leaders. And you fast forward to today, after one season, my man is fired, right? And predictably, social media is already buzzing with accusations of racism, and some are claiming Mayo was set up to fail, while others argue that the team didn't give him enough time, right? It reminds me of like Kamala Harris when Joe Biden stepped down. They say, oh, if she had more time, she would have won the election. No, it spoke for herself. And actually, I feel like with her nonsensical rhetoric and divisiveness and obsession with Donald Trump, I don't feel like we would need to even hear that as long as we did. Let alone it wasn't conducive for the American people. But not to get off topic, I'm just trying to make a point here that at the end of the day, is with the time that you have and with regards to what you do with it, which yields results. And obviously, with that mindset of feeling like there's nothing he can do with them, then the results were obviously going to be the same way with that approach mentally anyway. Right. So, look, let's be real. Head coaches in the NFL get fired for one reason: poor performance. Whether you're black, white, or any other race, if your team underperforms and looks disorganized, your job is on the line, right? It's basically like a content creator. We look at analytics, we see what video thrives, and we make the right adjustments to continue to go in the right direction to reach the people, and let alone that turns into building a core fan base or core supporters in regards that rocks with us, right? So, for example, you guys can look it up. Look at Frank Reach. He's white, got fired before finishing his first season with the Panthers after starting 1-10. If you don't believe me, I'll show you guys because I like to back up what I say, substantiating my point. Um, this is him, right? So he got fired by the next morning. This was December 6, 2023. The NFL's shortest head coach stint since 1978. Okay? So this isn't about race, it's about results. But the broader conversation about race, whenever a black coach is fired, the media narrative often shifts to racism or a systematic bias. But the issue is but here's the issue. This is how they look at it when it comes to crying boohoo and going into the Victim Olympics with these liberal media outlets. And I predict, and they will, Stephen A. Smith and individuals will say, if you don't hire black coaches, you're labeled as discriminatory and all these divisive things, rhetoric. And if you do hire them and they don't perform, firing them brings the same accusation. So be damned if you do, damn if you don't. It's not a win situation for organizations trying to balance fair opportunities with performance standards. But let's talk about another example, right? You see this guy right here, Eric Biame. I don't know if I said the name right. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm always open to the possibility of being wrong. But this guy right here, right, a former offensive coordinator for the Kansas City Chiefs, was touted as a great coaching prospect, yet he struggled to find success without Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. His short stints with the Washington Commanders and UCLA didn't help his case either. It's not about race, it's about results and ability to deliver under pressure, right? And is always victimhood versus accountability. You're either going to take one, you're going to stand on it, and that's what it's going to be, right? So my take on it is leaning into the victim Olympics and blaming external forces and everybody else. Like racism doesn't help anyone grow. Success comes from self-evaluation and improving where you fall short. Instead of focusing on external narratives, focus on what you can control, which is your preparation, your leadership, and your results. That's the mindset of a winner, right? So at the end of the day, Mayo's firing wasn't hard to predict for a lot of people. Leadership isn't about checking boxes for diversity. It's about delivering results. So those who focus on performance over politics are the ones who find lasting success. So while I expect the media to cry and run to the victim Olympics and blame racism and race bait and race hustle, let's keep the focus where it belongs, which is the performance and accountability that make or break leaders in NFL. What do you guys think? Was this firing justified, or is there more to the story? Let me know in the comments down below. And don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, family. Peace.